Today we're going to look into a household spirit that you definitely do not want anywhere near you, and especially not in your home. Technically it's not a yokai at all, though it is sometimes called that. Like the Zashiki Warashi and the Osore Nagare, it is a household spirit, but a special kind. By traditional definitions, it's what we in the West would call a god. This is the Binbō-gami, the god of poverty. He qualifies as a god because he is mentioned in Buddhist scriptures, including sutras, though in a female manifestation. There he is a goddess known as Kokoanten, which translates roughly as heavenly black darkness. She likewise appears in tattered old clothes like the traditional male Binbō-gami, and is often accompanied by her radiant elder sister Kishijoten, who by contrast is the goddess of auspicious fortune, beauty, fertility, and happiness. There's a famous story of a family who recognized and greeted Kishijoten with great hospitality when she appeared at their door, but turned her ragged sister Kokoanten away, only to find that the goddess of luck was now leaving them as well. As she left, the goddess explained that she was always in the presence of her sister. In essence, good luck and bad luck were two sides of the same coin, and one could not accept one and refuse the other. As the story above illustrates, there was a lesson involved. This is a good place to point out that a god in Buddhism is different from what we in the West would normally consider a god. In this context, a god is something closer to an enlightened being called a bodhisattva, one who has achieved transcendence beyond the physical, yet chooses to remain attached to the mortal plane to teach us humans hard lessons. All for our own good, of course, to help us along the path to enlightenment. Poverty likely teaches a greater lesson than wealth, not that we're always given a choice in the matter. In his god of poverty manifestation, however, the Binbō-gami works alone. He appears as a skinny old man dressed in rags and carrying a paper fan. I use the term appears very loosely. It could teach the Zashiki Warashi a thing or two about making itself scarce. It's almost impossible to catch so much as a glimpse of it. You can only tell if he's around by everything that goes wrong. Persistent bad luck and misfortune, especially in matters of finance or property. That's your first clue there might be a Binbō-gami hiding in your closet. And he does prefer closets, even if he is invisible. But why is he there? It could be a life lesson waiting to happen. Or perhaps you brought home some grilled miso paste, or worse, grilled or baked it yourself. Turns out the Binbō-gami loves the smell of cooking miso, and it tends to attract him. The fan he carries, the shibu uchiwa, is what he uses to waft the scent closer to him. Unfortunately for you, every waft of his fan brings more of the spirit of poverty into your home. If you suspect the presence of a poverty god, how do you get rid of the guy? I mean, life lessons are all well and good, but sometimes what's good for you, well, really isn't good for you. There's probably a Zen koan about that somewhere. Anyway, back to banishing. For those with access to them, there are shrines dedicated to the Binbō-gami which, no surprise, also include rituals to remove him. However, if no shrines are handy, one alleged method is to throw rice and miso soup into a river. I suspect this is a garbled reference to an actual ritual which, ironically enough, uses the Binbō-gami's love of baked miso against him. In this method, miso is grilled or baked into the form of a plate, and it's done openly, so you should only try this if you're certain that poverty god is already in residence. Once you have the plate, you take it outside the house, preferably to a river. The idea is that the Binbō-gami will follow the scent of miso out of the house and possess the plate. Then you quickly fold the plate in half, trapping the spirit of the Binbō-gami inside. Then you throw it in the river and bathe to remove the smell so he can't follow you back. Now, if that doesn't do the trick, you can always try this. Repeat affirmations of abundance and plenty daily. Sounds a bit woo-woo, I know, but the idea is to banish the poverty mindset and thus banish the poverty itself. It makes your home unpleasant for the guy, as opposed to him making it unpleasant for you. No poverty vibes, no poverty god. Not exactly fighting fire with fire. More like fighting fire with an extinguisher.